This is a math poem about fractal geometry entitled "The Cat in the Hat Came Back Again." The cat in the hat came back again, etc., etc., etc. See if you can anticipate the rhyme before I say it. It all started this morning as I worked at school, half-heartedly on fractions at my favorite stool. Mr. Snide, our math teacher, had been gone all week, and each fresh replacement had left with a shriek. Then all of a sudden, the new sub walked in. He looked real familiar and said with a grin, "Forget about fractions, they're way too confusing. The study of fractals is much more amusing." But before he got started, I spoke with a hiss. "When are we ever gonna use this?" The cat in the hat then pulled out a chart, pictures and vegetables, and thick books on art, magnets, a laptop, and oh so much more. And I thought to myself, what could all this be for? A smile crossed his lips, and he said, "Yes, it's clear that you can find fractals almost everywhere." I pleaded, "Oh, tell me, please tell me, will you? What is a fractal, and what does it do?" "A fractal is something special," said he, "that contains itself indefinitely, with tiny little copies that have inside them still tinier copies ad infinitum. If you'll allow me, I'll give you a sample. For instance, a tree is a fine example. In nature, fractals show their power in ferns, bushes, and broccoli flower, cracks in the mud, or meandering forms like rivers and lightning in thunderstorms. And your body's full of fractal trees, which wander inside you as much as they please, like blood in the oxygen it carries from the arteries to the capillaries. And the structure of the lungs belie branches from bronchia to alveoli. In math, of course, fractals abound through function compositions found, Julia Cantor and Mandelbrot sets, snowflakes, carpets, and holy gaskets. Fractal behavior is even revealed in the attractive power of magnetic fields, flood cycles, stock markets, and the pattern of growth in aggregates. One can find a fractal structure in African art and architecture, Escher's drawings which iterate, and mandalas on which to meditate. Perhaps in Frank Lloyd Wright, you bet, and Shakespeare's plays like Hamlet. Celtic symbols and mythology, ancient philosophers and cosmology, aqueducts, music, and designer clothes by Jane Barnes. And heaven knows, in poetry you need a fractal to rhyme with words like pterodactyl. And there are poems which are designed to be like fractals, intertwined. And fractal structure can be found in organizations that are sound. The cat went on and on and on and on and on and on. And after he had said it all, he handed me a Russian doll. He said, "Here's a matryoshka to help you know what fractals are. Now you can go." I got home and opened the doll to one by one remove them all, but always found another one. It looked like I'd never be done. My mom came in and asked me why, and this was my exact reply. It all started this morning as I worked at school, half-heartedly on fractions at my favorite stool, etc., etc., etc.